on this week's Talking with Topher. It doesn't feel good, you know? Nobody likes it when they feel down or depressed, or I call it being deflated because I've had depression. That's why I can't call it depression. I don't want to put it out there, but is your girl pregnant? And he's like, no. And I was like, we can get through anything then. Let's get into episode 176. What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back on this August 17th, 2023, and I'm so glad to have you all back here with me. Before I get into anything today, let me start off the way I always do by saying thank you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you and welcome to the new subscribers. If you are just passing by, checking it out, or maybe somebody sent you the link, that's right, the Linktree link, remember to subscribe. It's the most important thing you can do for the podcast, and it's the most important thing you can do for me. All right? It's super important. Click, smash, stomp on that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. And, of course, don't forget about the Linktree. Yeah, that's right here. It's in the description below the video. You can click it and get access to everything TwT. It's also the easiest way to share the podcast. So go ahead, copy, share it, pass this thing around, and help me make the podcast bigger. And then, of course, if you want to get involved with the podcast, yeah, that's right. You want your opportunity to be a guest or maybe tell your story, or maybe there's a story out there that you know needs to be heard. Go ahead and send that over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. All right. It's the official email of the podcast. This is not a scam. And after all that being said, how are we doing, everybody? It's crazy right now. I do have to say it has been a couple weeks since a lot of this happened, but it doesn't eliminate the feelings I was having of absolute positive deflation. Yeah, I can't say that I was depressed because I didn't feel depressed, right? No, I just didn't. But I knew that I was feeling a particular way, and I was down. Everything kept keeping me there, and it was very frustrating and annoying, and it doesn't feel good, you know? Nobody likes it when they feel down or depressed, or I call it being deflated because I've had depression. That's why I can't call it depression. I definitely wasn't too excited about all the events that happened. I mean, I'm still chasing noises on my car, very annoying. It's like, let me put it to you this way. They tighten up the rear axle, they tighten up the hub, and it's like as soon as I step on the gas, it starts untorquing itself and causes everything to become loose again. And the only thing that they've explained to me is that Nissan themselves say that it needs to be at 90 foot-pounds, and I guess the normal torque on a rear end is like 200. So I've been chasing this noise for weeks now. I have to say I'm mostly just annoyed with it. I keep hearing it, and I bring it back to them, and they're chasing it, but that's what I paid them to do. So they can't figure it out. It's untorquing itself. So let's just start there, right? So I'm up on the roof. I'm trying to get the bird's nest out from underneath my solar panels. That's right. You heard me right. I had 4. So I'm up there, and I'm destroying this nest. I'm trying to dig it out. I get down, I take a shower, I do a few things. Then I go for my phone, and it's shattered. I guess what I did was I had it in my pocket, face away from me, leaned on the ladder maybe one too many times, maybe too much, and just shattered the phone. And I was like, oh, my God. So what do you got to do, right? You got to do an insurance claim. It costs money, and then you have to get the phone, and then you have to program the phone. And I thought Back in the day when I did a couple insurance claims on my phone, they gave you like 3 days to bring back that phone or send it back, which was never enough amount of time. I mean, you're literally getting the phone in, programming it, and they count the day of delivery as 1 day. So you're already 1 day down when you got the delivery. Well, I got my phone, and I open up the box, and it's like, you have 15 days. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. All right, great. I'm going to worry about this in about 4 or 5 days because right now I need to do my job. I need to do work. I need to do podcast. I got to do so much, and I need my phone for all of it. So I'm like, I'm just going to put it off. I finally get to it about a week later, put my phone all together, mail out the phone. Right after I mail out the phone, right? It was probably the next day. I think I mailed it out on Saturday, and then that Sunday coming around, we were celebrating my father's birthday, July 25th or whatever, 23rd, that's right. And so we're doing our normal stuff like we always do, shopping, getting ready to go, putting the gifts together, showering, doing laundry, all the normal stuff you do on a Sunday. I'm like, okay, well, I got to go downstairs. I got to flip the laundry. We're going to get things in the dryer, and we're going to get going. We'll be 15 minutes late. We were supposed to be there at 1. I figured we'd be there 1:15, maybe 1:20 latest. Go downstairs, full of water my basement is. I was like, what? So now I'm freaking out, right? And I'm not like freaking out, but I'm like, I can't talk. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say anything. I don't even know how to I'm trying to wrap my head around a basement that had no water in it an hour ago to a basement that is full of water. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, the washing machine gave out, this gave out. And then I noticed that the shop sink is full. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's a lot of water. And I was like, oh my God, this isn't my washing machine. This is our showers. This is everything we were doing. Dishes. I'm like, so it is everywhere. So what do? Start taking the shop back to everything. I'm cleaning it all up. I'm freaking out. We finally get it all cleaned up. I did a whole bunch of like sucking up the water through the shop sink and then turning the blower on. So I unscrew the hose, do it on the other side, and then it blows air in. So you're like blowing into the pipes, you're sucking out of the pipes. What a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. Finally get it to a point where everything's pulled, carpets are all out on the deck drying, and now all the water's gone, and there's no water in the sink. We do a couple test runs just to make sure if any water, I don't know, for some reason would start running when we weren't there, wouldn't back up. And finally get to my parents at 3. So 2 hours late. Now I got this huge problem on my hands, so I have to call Roto-Rooter, go through the whole 9. They show up, and I'll put a picture up, but it was like 25 feet of root. And I'm like, oh my God. So, of course, that cost money, and that's not short. And it was right after my phone, so we're close to $800 now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, the basement took 2 days to dry. I didn't even catch up on all my stuff until Wednesday. So when I woke up Wednesday, it was Wednesday. I had nothing from Tuesday or Monday or Sunday left over. But it was a rough 3 days. So I'm already feeling deflated. I'm already feeling like upset about it. The money went out the window. What am I going to do? How do we get these roots out of here? And then I had them come and send a camera down it so that I could understand what I was looking at. I don't have video footage of that. I wish they did record it and send you the file, though. That would be cool. So he's going all the way down. We hit 40 feet. It's getting dark. Hit 50 feet. We got roots. But they're cleaned out. So they're all cut, but you can see where they were coming in. 60 feet, same. We got more sludge. We got a little belly, they call it. And then 70, 80 feet, you can see the root, and then you can go into the sewer drain. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, it's clearly coming from a maple tree. He was like, I looked all around your yard. I'm looking for it, and I don't see it. He's like, where are you getting these roots? And I go, did you miss the maple tree that's across the street? I'm like, there is a giant maple tree right across the street. Is it possible that those roots have grown through the road and now they're making it into my main drain out? Is that a possibility? And he goes, I mean, they are definitely maple tree roots. And if that's the only maple tree, then that's got to be the only thing. So I call Manchester. I'm talking to them. He's like, oh, no, the house across the street owns it. I go, but it's in between the road and the sidewalk. Yeah, but we don't own that. Somebody else planted that tree. Okay, but aren't you going to take care of it? I mean, it's overgrowing. It's blown out the sidewalk. It's ruining the road. Now it's growing into my sewer drain, my main drain out to the city. He's like, well, we can send a camera down. We can do all these things for the city side, but if we don't see anything that's, if we don't see anything, then we don't see anything. And I go, okay, the truck did show up. They did send a camera down. I don't know what they saw. My guess is they didn't see enough to actually do anything because the guy's like, oh, the tree is healthy, this and that. I'm like, the tree is not healthy. Tree's dying. Branches keep breaking. It's hit many people's cars. You've trimmed it a little bit off the wires, but it's back over them. I'm like, it's just ruining everything. And he's like, well, trees are great because of shade and it cools down. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I don't give a fuck what a tree does. I understand what trees do. But when they're in the city, man, I get upset about it. They ruin infrastructure. They ruin houses. They ruin a bunch. That's why I got rid of mine. I mean, they were still healthy trees, but it's like, how long before they damage something to the point where and then it's an act of God. So these assholes tell me that's the people across the street. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, the people across the street don't live there anymore. They're the people that were there when I moved in, but they're not the people that originally owned the house. But they're the ones that own the tree. Well, they don't even know they own the tree because it's technically on your property. Yeah, you're going to have to go over there and talk to them. Like, we're not going to get involved in this unless it's something. I go, well, what if you needed to rebuild the road, rebuild the curb, fix the sidewalk? Like, you're going to do everything and just go around the tree? So, anyway, they just tell me that it's not our problem. We'll do what we can. If we don't see anything, we're not doing anything. I go, that's great. That's just fantastic. Thank you, City of Manchester. I'm glad my taxes do nothing. So I was like, all right, well, there we go. We got it done. It's all set. Now water's moving. It's Monday night. We're getting things going. I'm starting to feel good about things. Still deflated, though. I'm still not happy about life right at the moment. And then I go to Salem. I went to Salem on Saturday, I think it was. I think it was Saturday last week. I can't remember. Or whatever week this was. And I get a fraud alert on my debit card. And I'm just like, seriously? I was like, all right, now, mind you, this is the third one, right? So I had it happen 2 other times, and I was like, no. I got the money back. I called the customer service numbers, whatever. I even talked to the bank, and they were like, if you get your money back, you don't have to do anything. But... And I go, okay, so if it happens again, we should probably think about doing that. Nah. And I was like, okay, so that's what we'll do then. We will see if it get hit again. So I get the fraudulent alert, of course. There's no customer service number this time. I call them up. I'm like, nah, this is fraud. Something happened. I don't know what I did. I probably opened up an unsafe website on Facebook or something. Who the fuck knows? Don't open those damn things. Those ads, these products, yeah, they're all bullshit. And either you don't get the product and they take your money and it's a fight to get the money back, or you get the product and it's a piece of shit and it's not even what they advertise, or it's completely false and they just steal your shit and then try to take money from you. So, anyways, that's my own fault. That's what happens when you start scrolling and you're just like, I'll check this out. Yeah, don't do that. I got to learn not to do it anymore. So now I'm without a debit card for 10 days. By the time you see this, I probably got the damn thing back, but it just left me feeling ugh, just what the fuck, man. And feeling this way and just not feeling myself. Like, I went to class, I was down on the mats, I was just, not doing good. And I'm like, all right, you got to stop feeling this way. You got to come back from this. This is stupid. All of the issues have been taken care of, but you're hung up on them because they cost money. I have to now use my wife's debit card, whatever. It just put me in a funk. But you know what I did realize when by the end of the week showed up and I started feeling a little bit better on the mats. I started feeling a little bit clearer. I had some really good rolls. I got a couple really good taps. And it changed everything for me. And not into the sense where like I'm not like aware of what happened or the money lost. It's just that mentally I was like, it's not that bad. I mean, it could always be worse, right? Could always be worse. I mean, at least the pipes aren't broken, everything's fixed, water's running, the phone's replaced, and, I'll get a new debit card. So, but the noise in the car is still existing, so that still gets to me every now and then. But it was just, when we get this way, we wanna call it depression. We want to call it something so that we can take a pill for it, so that we can use it as a crutch. And instead of doing any of that this time around, I just dealt with it. And these are one of a couple of the things that I talk about a lot on here, and I'll probably touch base with Jesse on this. His episode should have just come out last week. But we like to put put something in a box, right? We want to put it in a box. We want to label it. We want to get a pill for it. We want to talk to a shrink about it. And it's like, I don't think that's always the best way. It's definitely needed. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that I didn't have depression, but I'm not going to say that I had depression either. Because I was too young to know. I was drinking all the time, which is a massive depressant. And so this is what they thought was going to help. But no one ever asked me what I ate. Nobody ever asked me if I was drinking. Nobody ever asked me anything. They were just like, here's your pill. And, my friend told me a long time ago, he was like, dude, I'm telling you right now, we all live with anxiety. We all go through this. We all deal with these things. We all have up and downs, and we all get stuck sometimes. You just deal with it. And I was like, no, I got my pills. I got this, back then. And I was like, after going through this week, that happened a couple weeks ago, I really did realize that, yeah, he's right. Not that bad. I'm still down about it. I'm still upset. But it's like, what are you going to do? Move on. On to the next, But I really wanted to go over being deflated like that, having things come to you back to back to back. Now, I'm not saying that what I just went over is extreme. I'm not saying that it's more than anything else that somebody else is going through. All I'm saying is that you can plug in anything that you want. And I mean, I just found out my friend is his roommate's moving out. So he's in an apartment that he can't afford by himself. And now he's got to find an apartment that he can afford by himself, or he's got to find a new roommate, or he's got to do something else, or worst case, he moves back home. And I just looked at him and I go, hey, not for nothing, dude. At least you have that option, right? Could be so much worse. I even said to him when he walked in the door, because he's like, man, I just got hit with some heavy news. And I'm like, oh my God, what could it be? What could it be? My brain starts spiraling. So I automatically went to death or girlfriend's pregnant. And I was like, those two will really, really ruin a day. So I judged him on his mood when he walked in, and there was no crying, there was no upsetness, and I was like, okay, so nobody died. And then I was like, let me guess. I'll go, I don't want to put it out there, but is your girl pregnant? And he's like, no. And I was like, we can get through anything then. But when you're not in it, it's easier for me to say that. It's way, way easier for me to say that, you know? Even when my parents were telling me about the sewer and getting it fixed and doing this, they were like, yeah, it's easy. You're going to get through this. And the whole time I'm like, no, it's over. That's exactly what he was doing, you know? But we were talking about it, and jiu-jitsu has really changed our thinking. It's really, even though we're still upset, we're still anxious, we don't know the outcome, we have to try and prepare for 3 different scenarios and hope that the best one happens, but we'll be prepared for the worst. But it's like, when you're in it, you don't see that, you know? So, what seems to be the easiest thing to do is what you were always used to doing, right? My brain always goes back to, well, fuck it. Let's just drink. Let's just do it. Why not? And it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get through this, is what I tell myself now. And then, you know, I go to class and kind of discuss a few things there, but I try not to, because the last thing I want to do is bring up something that's bothering me and bring that energy on the mats. So my favorite thing to do is just not say a fucking word. I just get on the mats, I say hello to everybody, I stand in line, I do my warm-ups, and we just get into it. Because the last thing I want to do is change anybody else's mood, and I'm really trying to let go of all of my thoughts when I'm in there. I just want to focus on jiu-jitsu, you know, and it does help. So I may not see a therapist today. I may not be on any medications, but I still have problems. I still have things that bother me. I still, you know, I still get emotional about shit. I still get upset when things don't work or when things are broken. But you can't let it get the best of you. You can't let it destroy all the hard work you've put in on yourself and on everything around you. But it's weird how the brain will kind of trick you into being like, come on, guy. Come on. And it's like, nah, I'm not listening to you. I'll figure I do something else. I go do something else, or I find something else, or I just try to ignore those thoughts now, which are getting easier and easier. And so is dealing with this chaos, anxiety, and the depressing moments that I've been dealing with. All the things that I use and do in my life have made it easier to get past that. So if you're ever feeling that way, I'm telling you right now, just stick to what's working for you, and just keep working your program and keep on keeping on, because when you do that and you get through these feelings, you come out on the other side and you're like, oh shit. It wasn't easy, but I feel better now. I feel better. Things are starting to kind of level out, and maybe it'll be another week or two before something else hits the fan, you know? So just keep working it. Keep doing what you're doing, because I'm telling you, we are very resilient. Is that the word I want? Resilient. To a lot, you know? People lose arms and legs and all kinds of shit, and they got, wheelchairs, and you just accommodate to a lot. The human body is very impressive and at the same time such a piece of shit. But it's super impressive how we can adapt to so much. And addiction is one of those adaptations, right? Because you use your addiction to get through things, But then when you get away from your addiction, your brain, when you start going through those feelings again and all those emotions, your brain wants to go back to where it was, because it's like, this is my defense mechanism. Let's shut her down. And it feels so much better not doing that than it used to doing it, if that makes sense to you all. But let's take a quick break. Unleash your style. Discover slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com, where fashion meets individuality. Get ready to elevate your style game and make a statement that's uniquely you. At slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com, they believe that clothing is an expression of your personality. Their collection is designed to empower you, inspire confidence, and help you embrace your true self. Crafted with precision and passion, their garments are meticulously made using the finest materials, from luxurious fabrics to impeccable stitching. Every piece reflects their commitment to quality. They understand that comfort is key, which is why they have carefully designed each garment with your comfort in mind. Experience the perfect blend of style and coziness that will keep you looking and feeling great all day long. Don't just take my word for it. Join the slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com community, where style mavens and trendsetters come together. When you're dressing for your everyday wardrobe or seeking that one statement piece, slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com has you covered. Their wide range of styles and sizes ensures that everyone can find their perfect fit. Unleash your style and make a lasting impression with slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Visit their website today. Join the fashion revolution and let your clothing tell the story. slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Your style, your story. And I'm back. What's happening, everybody? What's happening? All right, short break. I just want to say thank you to my sponsor, Slow Down Clothing. You guys have been great for the last 2 years now. And I just always want to make sure from time to time I shout out my sponsor and say thank you. So that being said, though, I want to talk about, the earth is heating up like crazy, right? And now people are heading out to Death Valley to go experience the hottest day on the planet ever recorded. And I do believe it was 130 degrees out there. Okay, look, why are you going there? What are you going to get from that? What are you doing? Why would you want to do that to yourself? I don't understand. Okay, they were saying it was 150 degrees somewhere recently recorded. And then I was hearing chatter about Death Valley, but that was only like 130 degrees. So I can't remember where the 150 degrees was taken, but it's literally the hottest temperature ever recorded. And now they're finding even more magma at Yosemite. And they're really thinking this thing's going to pop. I do not even know. Actually, you know what? I can kind of guess. I can guess a little bit. We will all be dead. I don't think we're going to survive. If right, is it Yellowstone or Yosemite? I don't know. I might have it wrong. But either one, whatever one it is, it's a giant thing, and they're seeing a lot more flow. They're finding magma. They're really getting worried about this thing finally erupting. And if it does, it is just going to be disastrous. At least, I think, for the world, but definitely for the United States of America. Because if that thing, I'm hoping that like enough of the magma or the liquid that's heating up, I'm hoping it softens the ground so it starts opening up a hole. Because I feel like if it tries to burst, right, it's got a crust on it. I feel like that's putting a firecracker in the palm of your hand and lighting it and just holding on to it like this. What's going to happen? My entire hand is going to explode, right? The entire, I'll have no fingers, I'll have no thumbs. But if I take that same firecracker and I put it on the palm of my hand, I'm going to burn the palm of my hand. I'm not going to lose my fingers. I'm not going to lose a thumb. It's not going to be as big of an explosion. So I'm kind of picturing it like that. If that crust layer, that stuff gets hot and burbly and starts popping up, hopefully it'll soften that so it falls in, so that when it does erupt, it's kind of like being on the palm of the hand. And maybe that, in a sense, would be less destructive than it just blowing up. I believe, if they mapped it out correctly, and of course this data I'm going off of, I was, because we talked about this when we were in our 20s. So over 20 years ago, this thing was supposed to blow up. And if it did do that, it was supposed to take out 3/4 of the United States, which is insane. But why are people going out to Death Valley? Do people normally go to Death Valley, or was everybody like, it's going to be 130 degrees. This sounds like a great idea. There are so many people dropping dead because of heat exhaustion. My dad was victim to that. When he lived in Florida, he was basically dead. He was mowing somebody's lawn. He fell down. If the owner of the house was not home at the time, my dad would not be here today. So that guy or woman saved his life. They dragged him inside. They got him cooled off. They got an ambulance there. I guess the whole nine. And luckily, but that's heat exhaustion. See, when people don't hydrate themselves properly, or don't cool themselves off correctly, or drinking soda is not hydrating you. Drinking juice is not hydrating you. You know what's going to hydrate you during the heat? Water. Okay? I drink a ton of sparkling and what's the other one? There's sparkling water, regular water, flavored water, and then there's seltzer. That's it. Always water. Water. Why? Well, I know that I like to do a lot of stuff outside. So even if I'm in and out, you still just always want to be hydrated. The one thing about heat exhaustion is once you get it, it's irreversible. Irreversible. You can't fix it. And now you're always prone to it. So I don't understand what people are doing. I hope they hydrated. I hope no one died from it. But if they did, man, shame on you. It's like me having my phone in my pocket. My own stupidity broke my phone. So your own stupidity will get you killed in the middle of Death Valley. It's called Death Valley for a reason, right? Jesus Christ, people. But going off of this, we're going to get into some TwT topics today. There is a nurse from New Hampshire missing in Haiti because her and her child were kidnapped. The nonprofit organization that they are working, or she is working for, say. A nurse from New Hampshire and her child were kidnapped in Haiti Thursday, according to nonprofit she works for. Alix Dorsainville and her child were kidnapped the morning of July 27th near the LTO Haiti's Port-au-Prince campus. The faith-based humanitarian group announced. This is her right here. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. But this. I just don't understand. Like, I get it. You're trying to do good things. You're trying to probably build wells or what have you. But man, now you're stuck in a third world country. Because why? Because you're an American and everybody else is like, oh, America's rich. Man, if only they knew. If only they knew. I mean, I'm not saying that because she's from New Hampshire, she's poor. I know she's got more money than a third world country, living in a hut, working for maybe literal peanuts. And that's not being rude. It's a little inconsiderate, I guess, but I mean, I am a little ignorant too, but I don't know what they get paid in, if they get paid at all. I don't know what she was doing there. I know there's a bunch of people that go to these places and build wells and tree houses and all kinds of crazy shit to try and help bring in money, to the jungles and the indigenous people that live out there and all these other things. But I mean, somebody was just on Rogan and he was going over this tree house he built in the jungle, and he showed another spot of the jungle that was complete desert. And he's like, that used to be the Amazon. And I mean, so it's crazy. I think one of the things he said about the Amazon was that somebody said that it was possibly man-made. And one of the guy was like, well, if it was all man-made, then we can tear it down and it's not going to do anything. And I guess that's what started the construction of the Amazon forest. Man, if that's true, that is so sad that you would deliberately kill that giant forest, turn it into desert because you thought it was man-made. I'm sorry. I don't think there's any crazy deep with that much wildlife, things in there we didn't even know existed and probably don't anymore. I just don't believe that that's man-made. I know we have man-made ponds and call me stupid, paint me dumb, but fucking show me man-made forests. But I just feel bad for her. I feel bad for her. She went there to go do a good thing, and now she's probably being held for ransom. Who knows what they're doing to her? She looks like a tiny little thing, so it's not going to be good, So I don't know. I think everybody should, know about this. Stay away from these places right now. It's just like traveling, man. Traveling's a nightmare. Layovers suck. Cancellations are horrible, and it's happening all the time. And then you go to a third world country and you get fucking kidnapped and held for ransom. Jesus Christ! Imagine the flight imagine if she had problems with the flight before she got there. And she's like, oh, this was so brutal to get here, but I'm so happy I'm here. And then that happens. I wonder what her third thing is. Unfortunately, it could be death, because what if her family's not rich? What if her family, she's working for a nonprofit, the nonprofit's not going to deal with that. They don't, and they'll consider it to be like a terrorist thing. So they're not going to pay to have her saved. Man, fucking crazy to think about, isn't it? I would not want to be in her shoes, that's for sure. But I do feel bad for her, so everybody should know her name. All right, so Colorado River Basin is at a mega drought caused by massive 86% decline in snowpack runoff. Dude. All right, we got to figure out how to dump the oceans. Dump the oceans. Okay? Dump them, get the salt out of them, start putting them here. You can see this as clear as day. If you can see my pointer on the screen, this is where it was. That is the line right there. That is, are we talking, it's Colorado River. This is the basin. So, provides for more than 40 million people. Researchers have suggested occurred 1895. Come on. All right, so let's see. Runoff in the basin is a direct result to warming and vegetation changes in the landscape. Yeah, well, we keep cutting the vegetation, we keep destroying it, and building roads and houses. Yeah, yep. Meaning available water resources to support the local population have declined 2.1 kilometers to the third power. What the fuck does that mean? Can't you just tell me how deep it was and now how deep it is? So let's see. Percentages changes in the Colorado River Basin runoff since 1950. I guess they need more snow. Let's see. Carbon dioxide. CO2. Jesus Christ. And all that. And a no. No, they can't give me an actual depth of how far down it went. So, runoff. It's all percentages, so that's no fun. So, I'm going to say, that's got to be, what, a mile? 2 miles deep? Something like that? No, right? Well, no, the Titanic's 2 miles deep. That's 13,000 feet. So there's no way this thing's 13,000 feet. So what are we looking at here? 3,000 feet? Maybe? I don't know. It's pretty deep. Maybe that is. No, I don't know what a mile is. Excuse me for even talking about this. So I'm going to have to figure this out. But there is no actual length. I'm guessing this thing's like maybe 3,000 feet tall. So, that's a lot of water. It's supposed to support 40 million people. There's no way it's going to support 40 million people. There's just no way. That's kind of scary. We really do need to, I'm being serious. We need to figure out how to get the salt out of the salt water at a quick pace. And we need to start pumping it everywhere for drinking water. And you know what? Salt water is not good for you, but I bet you it's better than most of the water we're actually drinking from the tap. I'm not going to lie. I've seen the shit set on fire in certain places. And with the trains and all the chemicals in the ground, groundwater is getting pretty gross anyways. Pretty unsafe, I should say. Let's see here. Underground climate change is deforming the ground beneath buildings. What? Oh, good. So now they're saying a phenomenon known as underground climate change leads to a shifting of land under cities that could pose problems for buildings and infrastructure. Yeah, you think? Do you think that these hot temperatures, a lot of these places, a lot of the roads, a lot of the infrastructure, they are based off of temperature, pressure, weight, and that's how they build them, So they're going through, they're building these things, they're taking care of them, they put them up, and they go, okay, well, this part of whatever doesn't get over, I don't know, call it out, 100 degrees. Cool. Everything's rated for 130 degrees. And then we hit 150 degrees. And they're like, oh, shit, we didn't plan for that. That's 20 degrees hotter than we anticipated. And now they've had buildings actually sink. I don't know what buildings. They didn't specify. I'm not going through this. But this is pretty serious. Because what if an entire skyscraper collapsed because, I don't know, the ground got so hot that it created some type of a sinkhole, or it shifted and then it cracks the foundation? These things are designed for the most part to fall straight down. But what if there's an actual shift? The chances of it maybe breaking down like that, I think go down, depending on what happens to it. I don't know. I've never designed a building. I'm not an architect. Not an engineer. But I think, personally, when the buildings don't do what they were projected to do, if they were falling, you may not get the same outcome that you prepared for, right? And I don't think anybody prepared for the ground getting so hot that the weight of the building would push into the ground. I don't think anybody prepared for that. So, I don't know. I think this is pretty damn crazy, and this is why I brought up the whole thing with Death Valley. I'm like, what is everybody, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, I wouldn't want to live in a skyscraper, and I don't want to be in Death Valley. I don't know what's going on right now, but we're drying up and we're heating up. And it's crazy, but we got plenty of ocean water. I'm telling you, we got to figure this out. We got to figure out this ocean water. All right, so right here in Boston, Massachusetts, there was lightning that struck a building. Hold on a second. All right, so right here in Boston, Massachusetts, lightning was so strong that it struck a building on the street. I'm not sure which street, but we got some video, and I really wanted to show this to you. Hold on, I gotta be quick like lightning here. There we go.
They're laughing, but it's scary. Caught on camera, a lightning strike hit the chimney of a Boston brownstone and sent bricks flying out onto the street.
And despite all the debris, amazingly, no one was hurt. Boston 25 News report.
Oh, it wasn't the building. It was the chimney. But still, right here, you can actually see the debris all around, all over the road, bricks from the chimney. Oh, okay. I thought it blew the front of the, like, a window out. Although, look at that. That's pretty crazy. The whole fence is down. And there's a shit ton of debris everywhere, and that car got fucked up. That car got wicked fucked up. That's from lightning. Lightning hitting a building and blowing up a friggin' chimney. Whew. That is crazy shit. Now, want to talk about some more crazy shit. Here we go. This is wild. And this just happened, well, today, which is July 29th. Today is July 29th. So this has happened today, and I thought this was crazy. Look at this plane. This is Hampton Beach. Oh, beach. Look at that. Crash landed. Oh, yeah, man. It doesn't take long for that shit to go down, huh? There we go. Now it's belly up. I think that's the guy that got out. There we go. Yay, got out. I'm going to do something here. There we go.
Oh no! They were crashing. I think they are crashing. They had to let go.
Oh, they're crashing. They're crashing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is multiple views of the crash. Boom. Wow. Actually, I like that angle better. So the plane crashed, Hampton Beach at Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. So that happened today. They had to go out there, capture them, pull the plane out. Luckily, they were capable of pulling that plane out, huh? Is that a plane is that one of those puddle jumpers? Am I getting that right? But yeah, so, I mean, flying's dangerous. I don't care who you are, but whether you're a passenger in a big jet or if you're just a small plane, I mean, it is dangerous. It is dangerous, and you do have to be very careful out there. But one more time, I'm just going to go back here. Boom! And then from the other view right here, just one more time. Bang! Yeah.
Wow.
It is absolutely crazy. I didn't expand my screen until later, so there you go, everybody. But man, isn't that wild? Just sitting around, enjoying the beach on a foggy, cloudy day because the rain doesn't want to stop. It doesn't want to go away. So, but what a sight to see. Everyone's talking about it right now. You'll see I think that was a puddle jumper, right? Isn't that what they call those little planes with the little, I think they had a buoys on the bottom. Oh, no, that's perfect. Man, I love when computers have a mind of their own, and mine has got the biggest one of its own ever. It doesn't turn on when I turn it on. It doesn't like to shut off when I want to shut it off. It likes to freeze, and then it just plays videos every now and then. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, so well, I hope everybody enjoyed today's podcast. I really do appreciate everybody who subscribes. I thank you all the new subscribers. Welcome. And go ahead and grab and copy that link tree and share it, all right? And if you're new to the podcast, remember to subscribe. And if you want an opportunity to be on the podcast, tell your story, well, you got to send an email, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. It's the official email. It's the best way to get involved with everything TwT. And with that all being said, I hope you enjoy your Thursday, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you later.